Hello and welcome again to Start the Week Stamping with Linda from lindaspapercraft.co.uk, and we're doing some new techniques during July. So we're on week 3, and this week I'm going to show you how to use heat and stick embossing, heat and stick powder from Stampin Up to highlight an image that you've stamped. Okay, so we're going to be using the stamps from Beautiful Friends, and this is actually a little note card, gorgeous little card, and I'm just going to show how I stamp the different layers to get this effect. So we're going to start with a piece of crumb cake cardstock, and I'm just going to first of all stamp, because I've written numbers on the blocks, so number 1. So I'm going to stamp first of all the background of the tree. Okay, and I'm going to do that in garden green. Okay, so I'm currently using glimmer flakes I had in my stash. I'm sure I'm not alone. Having people with glimmer flakes catching dust somewhere in their stash. So I'm just going to stamp that. You know, I can never remember what they're called. I was sort of zoom between glimmer flakes and gilding flakes, and I'm almost certain Stampin' Up call theirs something else. Can't remember. Right. And then I'm going to take the soft suede. So that was garden green. Taking the soft suede, and I'm going to now stamp. Oh, see, told you it gets everywhere. Gilding flake. Right, I'll get that out with my tweezers later. So I'm going to stamp the trunk here. Sorry about that, the doorbell's just gone, but I'm sure they'll just leave the parcel there. Okay, they normally, yeah, off they go. So, okay. And then I am going to stamp the detail. Now I'm not actually going to stamp it using the block. I'm actually going to pop it onto my stamp apparatus, because we did find it needed a really good ink up to pick out all the little details of the tree. So let's do it this way. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that just up there and add the magnet, and then I'm taking the tree off the block, and excuse my head if it's in the way, I'm just going to stick that over so it roughly covers. It's not exactly the same as the tree underneath, it is designed to add extra detail. Oof. Right, so I'm just going to pick that up. Don't move, don't move, don't move. Thank you. There we go. So just gently pick it up and then push it down to make sure it's stuck. Okay, and then I'm going to get my Versamark ink, and we're going to ink that up. Really making sure it's a good ink up. And I'm going to pop that across. It's a nice even press. Lift that up, and I'm going to do it again just to make sure. Okay, there we go. You need to make sure it's all the way on. Right. Okay, and I'm just going to pop that to one side. My little catcher, and so I'm just going to sprinkle on some of the heat and stick, and it's like embossing powder, nice and generous with it. Okay. And then just let that roll off, and you can see that there's white areas where the embossing powder is stuck, or the heat and stick powder is stuck rather. If you've got any you don't want it, just brush it off. Okay, I'll just put that over there. Try and remember not to knock it off. And now I'm going to just heat that up. Excuse the noise of the heat gun. So, you want to heat it, I'll just tell you this before I start, till it just becomes clear. As soon as it becomes clear, stop, because that's at its peak stickiness. If you overheat it, it'll have less stickiness. And as you can see, it does go much quicker than normal embossing powder. Okay, stretched my grid paper with the heat. So I've got some scratch grid paper here from a class. Okay, and I'm just going to sort of fold it up so that when I'm trying to fold it up afterwards to catch all the stuff, it will go in the middle. So again, I'm using the greeny ones that I've got. Using up what I've got in my stash, and you really do need to stick this onto the heat and stick powder. So I'm going to go into the box, and you see I've got lots of nice big pieces in this one. So, and you're just going to stick those on, pressing them onto your heat and stick powder everywhere. Okay, and then I'm just going to start burnishing off with my fingers to start with, just to make sure. So I've got any, let's just go back in with some smaller bits and just making sure all the bits are covered. Okay. So, oh, I can't pick it up. As you can see, they are little minxes. They get everywhere, these things. There we go. So put the lid on when you've finished. And then again, like I did last week, I'm just going to get a brush just to burnish off the last little bits. But can you see how it's picked up the different bits of the branches? And even though it felt like I'd taken everything off, I clearly hadn't. Just look at all the dust that's coming off now. And as I said, you don't want this dust. You do not want to put this back in with your gilding flakes, because you won't get the nice finish if your box is full of dust. And there we go. Okay, so, and I'm just going to go over it once more just to make sure. There we are. So how cute is that? Okay, so I just then layered that up with a piece of garden green and then onto the white card base, which is the notelet card, the note card from Stampin' Up. If you want the PDF with all the instructions for all 4 of the techniques I'm showing you, then just send me a message or put a comment on YouTube and I'll contact you and we'll work out how I can send it to you. Okay, take care, enjoy the rest of your day and see you next week. Bye.